Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we're actually gonna have a bit different type of video, and I have wanted to make a video such as this and perhaps even carry it out in series, but I never really, I don't know, put myself together to do it because in these videos I want to talk about MCOC, but more specifically what MCOC is for you, share some of my personal experiences, and perhaps help some people. Because this game is many different things for many different people. For some, it's just like a casual pastime, something to do on your way to work. For some, this is a way to keep in touch with many of your best friends. For some, it's a way to be competitive and feel accomplished. And yeah, there can be many different continuations of that. And because of that, there are many different, very complicated social aspects to this game, and also different effects, how they affect you inside the game, outside the game, personally. What are your habits because of this game, for instance? You can easily reference being stuck in the work toilet for 15 minutes just to unlink somebody in a queue and wait, and many different interesting life scenarios that happen. And I have no idea whether anybody wants to watch me talk about these things or anybody who wants to watch anybody talk about these things. In general, it's something better left unsaid. But there are also several social problems with this game, but we're gonna get into some of those later. For now, today, we're gonna be talking about alliances and what I have found to be the most important thing in alliance. How can you make sure that the alliance is right for you, and in general, how to make sure that there is a good atmosphere in the team, in the battle group, in the alliance. And again, by no means I am no authority in these issues. I don't have a degree in human psychology. I haven't always been the best teammate. I have had my temper tantrums, and I'm sometimes, occasionally, quite hard to get along with. But at the same time, I have played this game for a very long time, and my behaviors inside and out, it has changed, and also the way I look at this game. And now looking back, there are definitely quite few pieces of advice I would like to give to a younger version of myself. And specifically speaking about alliances. And I think that is one of the most important things individually for each player, and also for every alliance and every alliance leadership as a group. And the biggest, the most important piece of advice that I always want to give: make sure that everybody in the alliance is on the same wavelength. Make sure that the goals align, because there are several different directions every alliance in MCOC can go. You can play casual and do 1-2 BG wars, or do wars casually, don't care about prestige, just use alliance as a gathering of friends who can hang out. But if one of those friends is more competitive than others, then if the alliance doesn't play hard, push hard, isn't active enough, there will be resentment that's brewing up. You will feel more and more unhappy with your friends. You will want to change things up, and you'll want to force things on them that they do not necessarily want because they don't see things the same way. And I have been in a situation like that. I have had a very good friend who used to play this game. He has stopped about a year ago, but he was never quite as competitive as I was. He was always quite up there, but I always had a bit more drive. I was always willing to put in a bit more time or mess about with me too much, and that was perfectly fine. But it also meant that it was only a matter of time till we parted teams. I moved on to a different team. He remained in the previous team, and he was happier there than I was, and I was happier in my new home. Doesn't mean we stopped being friends. We still chatted and all that, but ultimately, individually, we were both better off being in different alliances. And that is also the big piece of advice here. If your goals don't align to the goals of your alliance, better leave. You can do it nicely, you can talk it out, you can be adult about it, you can remain in the same chats, hang out with the same people. But when it comes to your in-game alliance, you're much better off moving on to something that's more your speed. If your current alliance is too competitive for you, you'll be doing your service, stepping back, taking it easier a bit for a while or permanently, it's up to you. Or if you are someone more competitive, better off joining more competitive alliance. uh, I was kind of like fast tracking my way through that quite a bit, because initially when I started this game, alliances were not a thing, and obviously one of the first things is my mate who I referenced earlier had made an alliance, and I joined his alliance, and we're having fun. But ultimately, we felt that we both were overperforming to what our alliance mates could, so eventually we moved up. And then after a while, again, we found ourselves in a situation where our accounts, our rosters are growing faster than the ones of our teammates. We're consistently on top of the individual event scoreboards. We're the ones kind of like tagging everybody when Alliance Quest started, killing the bosses, mini bosses, so on and so forth. So we moved up again. And that process repeated itself every 3-4 months once we felt that we outgrew the said alliance. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, and it's not meant to be a bad thing to say about the alliances that we were in. No, we met a ton of very cool, awesome people within those groups, some of whom I'm still in contact with, some of whom have eventually started playing more and more competitive, and they made the same decision we did slightly after us, up until a point where, after really long time of active gameplay, basically you find yourself quite thereabouts as high as you can get in the game, kind of like the top alliances, and then there's not much difference in anybody's goals or commitments, because everybody there is competitive. But being competitive in this game, again, it can depend in a multitude of different ways. Well, primarily in this game we have two main game modes, Alliance Quest and Alliance War. Both are significantly different. Alliance War emphasizes skillful play, strategy, and working with your team. Alliance Quest emphasizes money, rank ups for prestige, so on and so forth. And it's important to, again, know, even if you're quite at the high level in this game, to understand whether your alliance focuses on Alliance Quest or Alliance War. And there are many who kind of are split in between, do both or neither really well. But point is, whenever you join your new alliance, or even right now as you are in the alliance that you have been maybe for a couple of months, maybe for 6 months, you need to ask yourself whether you want the same things as majority of your alliance mates do. And believe you me, as much as it might suck, as much as it might be scary, as much as you don't want to admit to yourself or you don't want to do it, if you are more competitive and if you want different things than your alliance does, you are better off moving on sooner rather than later. Because if you fester on these frustrations, if you're being annoyed as your teammates don't move in Alliance Quest on time, or if you're being annoyed seeing somebody rank up a fun, cool champion instead of prestige rank up, or whatever situation regarding yourself, if you find frustrated about plenty of things that ideologically differ from your mindset to the ones that you're of your alliance mate, you will be significantly better moving on to a different alliance. And kind of like a second part, I suppose, to this video is also very important point for alliance leadership. Now, when my personal story goes for being in like leadership roles in the alliance, pretty much always was an officer in any alliance up until like the very top. And since then, I want nothing to do with being an officer, being a leader, running my own alliance, because that takes so much time and so much effort and so much patience. And huge respect to the guys, to the officers in the top end alliances, because planning alliance war attacks, planning defenses, recruiting, making sure everything is fine, everybody gets along, is so hard. And I have huge respect for that. It's definitely not for me, something I'm not interested in. And still, furthermore, important point addressing those of you who are in officer or leader positions in your alliance. When you are recruiting for new people, it's very, very, very important not to oversell your plans, not to oversell your alliance, and not to be dishonest or lie as and when you are recruiting people. Because that is the easiest way that I have found how you can destroy your own alliances, cause a lot of negativity and instability. If you bring in a new player, you promise them, I don't know, Platinum 1, and you end up in Platinum 3, they leave, and then you have to recruit all over again, and then it creates this feeling of revolving door somewhere at the bottom of alliance, where whenever you recruit somebody, somebody leaves, and it's like an endless vicious cycle. Because generally speaking, you don't want to have huge movement in between your players in the alliance. And the best thing you can achieve that at large is just be absolutely upfront and delivering on exactly what you promised when you are recruiting these people. And I have been sweet talked like that as well a couple of times as I was moving up. There were people saying, "Oh yes, we get the tier 4 CC every week," or something like that, when that was like the big gate. And I joined an alliance, and we don't. And oh yeah, we are very serious about war, and then turns out you're not. And obviously for me, if I flat out say that war is important for me and I like to be competitive, I like to be active, and all of these things are promised to me personally, and I don't see them being delivered, number one, I was being crankier and nastier than I normally would have been, and that caused more friction in the alliance. And obviously before long, I parted with the alliance, and they were back where they started, effectively looking for a new person. But the only difference is they had to go through several weeks of negative atmosphere, because I wasn't the only one who was recruited under false pretenses. So that would be my biggest advice: how to keep your alliance in order. Always be upfront and straightforward with what you want, how you want to get there, and don't be dishonest to your recruits. And for individual players, once again, the biggest advice that I can give you is try to align your goals with the ones of your alliance, see if they match. If they don't, move on to the next one. As much as it sucks, be cool about it, but don't stay half a year in an alliance that is not for you and that doesn't want the same things as you do. And I think that is about it for today's video. I don't know, again, whether anybody will watch this. Don't know if anybody wants to watch this, so please do me a favor, drop it in the comment section. If you liked it, let me know. If there are any other specific subjects that you want to talk that revolve around MCOC, maybe not in the game specifically, but about alliances, mentality, how you approach spending, how you approach grinding, how you approach time management, many different things that we can discuss here. And I'm eager to know what are the things that you want to hear from me, if there are any. Anyways, that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information